Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome back to the Denver Bears franchise. We will kick off season number 4 next episode, but first we look into spring training, as this is probably the most important spring training that we've had. Our young guys are finally moved up and really getting their shot to really put their name on this organization and say, hey, I'm here this year, I'm ready to play. That includes guys like Rocchio, Brennan Rogers, who had a breakout year last year. CJ Abrams will be the starting shortstop. Guys that will compete in the outfield like Will Benson, like Weatherspoon, like all of these guys. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Even Takahashi's going to compete, along with a couple of more veterans we brought in, including Jorge Polanco, who I have high hopes for. I think he's going to be a guy that could hit for his career high, getting just a different look out of the AL. We'll have to see. I'm excited for this team. Now here is CJ Abrams, the young shortstop who is a top 10 prospect in real life. We now have him with the Bears. His first at-bat of the spring will be just a ground out. Now, I am very excited about Abrams because he's a very good defensive guy, and also, he can run. Here is Jesse Winker, who was our biggest free agent signing in the offseason. He will hit one to center field, and his first at-bat of the spring will be a single. I'm very excited to see what he's going to do this season. Keston Hiura up to the plate, who was hurt for most of the year last year. He hits one hard to the right side, and that one will be caught. I'm excited to hit probably Winker and Hiura back-to-back. I think they're going to be guys that are going to be driving in a whole lot of runs this season. So here is Winker once again for his second at-bat here as he drives one deep to right field. This one's got carried. Will it reach the wall? And it does! Home run! Jesse Winker home runs in his first career game in spring training with the Denver Bears, and he makes it a 1-0 lead here in the third inning. So we move this game on to the 5th inning, as here is Blackman at the plate. He's playing first base for the first time in his career. He drives one up the middle. That one will score CJ Abrams from second. And Blackman's coming into a role, possibly platooning, depending on how the young guy Muhammad Willingham does in spring. Here is Benson at the plate. He goes to left field. That one's going to be off the wall to start the 6th inning with 2 outs. And that one will be a double, but a bad throw to second will advance him over to third. Will Benson is a guy to watch out for because, remember, he has struggled with us so far, but he's at 80 overall, 8 potential. He's still got a ton of youth as well. Here is Hampson at the plate. He goes to right field. That one will be a dive and a miss on that fly ball, and Garrett Hampson will advance to second. Now, Hampson should have been an all-star last year. He hit for average around the all-star break. He was hitting above 300. He led our team in average. Jose Iglesias ended up making it in his place. And here is Brian Simmons, one of our prospect third basemen. He goes to right field, and he will single in and drive in a run of Garrett Hampson. 95 speed, he's going to score anyway. So CJ Abrams at the plate next. He hits one deep. That one is gone. If CJ Abrams can show a little bit of power as well, that will be amazing for this squad. I think that this will be one of the best offensive seasons that we've had in this series. We definitely struggled at getting on base, so I'm hoping that, you know, a lot of these guys that came in, that are coming in, like Abrams, like Winker, I think they're going to definitely help. Here's a fly ball to left field. This one actually gets down past the shortstop, and that one will be bases loaded, no outs here in the 7th inning. Elias Diaz, who signs with us in the offseason, once again grounds up the middle, and this one will be an easy double play, but we will get 1 run across the plate. 2 outs here, but we scored 7 runs in this game. Very good offensive production. So that brings up Will Benson with the man on third base. Let's see if he can come through here. And he drives one deep to right field. This one is gone. Will Benson showing out in his debut in spring. And that one will go 424 feet, crush down the right field line. Will Benson, such a good player. And I just think he just needs to hit the ball consistently. We know what he can do with his bat, with his power, but he just got to be consistent with it. We go on to win this game 10-1, and what an offensive game for this squad here. You know, Will Benson's definitely going to be a guy that's competing for that outfield, right field position. He's got the arm. I mean, his arm is actually excellent, but he's just got to be consistent. Like I said, Takahashi and Weatherspoon will be competing with him, I think, for right field. And I think it's that three-way battle. We'll see who edges it out. Now we move into another matchup here in the spring, this time versus the Texas Rangers, where we get to see Tristan Mckenzie, who we acquired last year before the trade deadline. He will be probably the number 3 or 4 starter in the rotation. Hopefully he can step up this year. Here is Bo Tito, one of the best subscriber prospects that have, I guess he's not a prospect anymore. He is an all-star for the Texas Rangers, and he strikes out swinging at that one. We move on to the third inning. Here is Zion Storm at the plate, who's going to get his opportunity to shine here. And here he is on the run on a curveball, and he will get in easily. He swipes the bag. And Zion Storm, you know, he's got a lot of potential, He's got speed as well. We'll see what he does. I want to kind of keep him down at the minors this year, but if he tears it up, who knows? So that brings up Hitor Takahashi, who played his first full season at the MLB level last year. He hits one hard up the middle. That one will drive in Storm. 1-0 here for the Bears. Is a throw home, trying to get Storm. I don't know what the center fielder was thinking on that one. As Takahashi does score. Takahashi does advance to second, I should say. So Zach Veen up to the plate, our top prospect in baseball. It's between him and Muhammad Willingham, and he goes up the box. That one will score another one in this inning. And this time, Veen gets caught in a rundown. We thought the throw was going to come home on that one, but it didn't. And that one will be an out at first base. And now here we are with a 2-0 lead. So McKenzie's still on the mound here in the fourth inning. This time facing Apostle, and he will go deep. And that one is going to be crushed to left field, as that is the first runs given up here by Tristan Mckenzie in this game. That one was just a missed pitch on that one. He got way too much of the plate. Abrams up to the plate now in the 7th inning, and he has been hitting pretty well here in the spring. A fly ball to left field will get down, and he probably could have made it on a bad throw to second. But that one brings up Max McDowell, one of our catcher signings of the offseason. He flies one to right field. That one will get run down. And I'm looking for a good backup catcher. Right now, penciled in is Elias Diaz. And then also we have another prospect that we have coming up in Rafael Marshawn. I'm looking to see exactly what Marshawn will do, but I think he's still got a year to develop. That's going to bring up Abrams in the 9th inning, and look at him. He's getting good wood on the baseball here in the spring. Even just getting hits like that, it doesn't have to be crushed. Just get on base. So now here comes Brian Rocchio to the plate. He hits one deep to right field in a 9-2 game, and this one will be caught at the warning track. We end up losing this one, but I'm really looking for like just little things like who's hitting the ball hard, who's getting on base. CJ Abrams went 3 for 4 in this game. So now we move on to the Cleveland Indians matchup, where we are 7-10 so far in the spring. And we get to see Ramel Coffey. You know, he's been a guy that we've been developing. He's been better every single year, but here in the spring he's actually struggling. 1.82 whip. So we'll see if he can get this outing here, and really just create some momentum for him going into the regular season. So he faces a very tough lineup with the Cleveland Indians. They have, remember, Trevor Story, who we traded for Will Benson. And we'll see what we can do versus this very good offensive team. Here's Franmil Reyes up to the plate. He hits one hard to center field. That one will be a single, as that brings up the former Colorado Rocky, Trevor Story, in the 4-hole. He hit about 300 last season, and he goes deep to right field. This one's got carry, and it's going to be gone into the bullpen. A short wall in right field. That one probably would have been a routine pop-up in the majors, but still, it makes it a 2-0 game there in the first inning. So move on to the 5th inning. Here is Keston Hiura, who's going to probably, I think, have a huge breakout year. I'm not saying he's going to be a MVP candidate, but I definitely think he's going to be an all-star candidate for us. I think he's got that type of potential with this offense. As that brings up Elias Diaz, who absolutely crushes one to left field. That one gets over the wall in left field. That's gone. 399. Elias Diaz is going to be a guy that I'm really going to depend on, especially being that veteran catcher. And I want to see if him and Roberto Perez can platoon together and really do well. So here is CJ Abrams at the plate, who continues to hit well in the spring. Nice hit, sending the runner over to third base. And now we have runners on first and third with Jesse Winker, who probably will hit 3 when we start the regular season. He hits one hard to the right side, and that one will be an RBI single. Abrams will round second, head to third. He's got speed, and he will make it 8-4 here in the 7th inning. But that's what I like to see out of Winker, driving in those runs. That brings up Charlie Blackman right behind him. He hits one well to center field. This one's got carry back to the track, but it is run down, and Cleveland gets out of this inning. As we move on to the 9th inning, here is Zach Veen, who always does well in spring training. He hits one to left center, and that one will get down. Now, the issue with Zach Veen, and he is our #1 prospect, he just cannot stay healthy. I think that's the thing. That's why I rank him a little bit above Muhammad Willingham, who is a great hitter, but Zach Veen is just special. So Willingham, he flies out to right field in the 9th inning. He actually is struggling so far in the spring. As that brings up Abrams with 2 outs, just hits a tapper, and that one will be the game here versus the Indians. 8-4 loss. But still, I like what I see from a couple of guys. Winker is definitely impressive. If he can hit well in situations like that, we're going to have a good season, especially when we just need to drive in runs. I think that that's the thing. We just need to get on base more and, you know, drive in runs with runners in scoring position. I think that's going to be what's going to make us good this year, at least making that leap from a bottom 10 team to probably a top 15 team. So let's see what we can do in this KC matchup as we put Atlas Luntich on the mound. And Atlas Luntich is right now, as far as this game goes, ranked as our top prospect, as he is in his mid-20s, a nice right-handed pitcher. He's got great control, but he's not going to strike out a whole lot of guys. So that's going to bring up Benintendi to the plate here with a guy on second base now, and he gets him to strike out looking. So that brings up Jorge Soler, hitting below 200 here in the spring, and that one will just be a ground out as Polanco throws over to first, and Muhammad Willingham, playing first this game, does get him out. So 3-0 lead here as we want to continue to see Atlas Luntich on the mound, but that's not a good sign, giving up a deep home run to right center. That one was hit pretty well. Colin Moran with his 4th home run of the spring, and that one will bring this game within 1 run. But Atlas Luntich, that wasn't a terrible pitch. It was just well hit. So now we move on to the bottom of the 2nd now with 1 out, and here is a shot to right center. That one will get to the wall. Hampson gets to that one, gets the ball in, but a double here with 1 out as that brings up Ahmed Rosario to the plate, a guy who we were contemplating signing in the offseason. We decided not to and signed Polanco instead, and that one will be a fly out behind home plate. So the top of the order rolls back over. Here's Estevan Florio to the plate. He hits Estevan Ramirez to the plate. He hits one to left center, and that one will score 1 as we do get the throw in, but it's a 3-3 game. 3 runs given up in the first 2 innings by Atlas Luntich. Not a great impression so far. Eric Mejia to the plate. Ground ball to second. This one will be put out here for Brian Rocchio, but still 3 runs given up in the first 2. I definitely wanted to see what Atlas Luntich can do in this game. I only allowed him to pitch 2 innings. Actually, I allowed him to pitch 3 innings in this game, and he allowed 3 runs. Not a great sign. I'm still looking for that number 5 starter in the rotation. I don't know who that's going to be yet. But Atlas Luntich, even though it's a bad outing, I still have high hopes for him. So now in this next matchup, we take a look at Freddie Peralta, who we traded for in the offseason. He's going to be our number 2 going into this year, and I want to see if he can earn another contract with us. Because remember, we tried this before with Jose Barrios. It did not work out, and let's see if it works out with Peralta. He's going to strike out a ton of guys, I think, and that's the thing that I love about him. When we need swings and misses, he's going to be able to provide it. Here is Luis Robert, who flies out to right field, and that one will be an out. As now we move on to the top of the 2nd inning. Here's a ground ball to the right side. That one will get through. So runners on first and second after that hit given up. 1 out still in the inning. Andrew Knapp at the plate now. 2-2 count and a swing and miss on a low fastball. 93 miles an hour. He definitely can take some off and actually put some on. So that is 2 outs in this inning. 1-2 count. Ground ball to Ryan Valade, who gets the start at short, and he will get the out at second base. So we move this game on to the bottom of the 5th inning as Peralta does not allow any runs in his first few innings, and he drives one. Here's Takahashi, who drives one deep into the bullpen. That's a home run. If Takahashi can hit the ball well this year, I think we're going to be a much better team, because he's going to either hit at the top of the lineup at leadoff or at the bottom at number 8. I think that's where his hot spot is, especially since he's a guy that can run. I definitely want to get him some RBI, or at least some run opportunities at the bottom of the lineup where we get to, you know, bunt him over with the pitcher and have situations like that. So here is Willingham at the plate. I haven't noted him much in the spring training here because he has been struggling. But here is a ground ball to shortstop. He did actually miss a pitch the pitch before that. That was a sure home run. But here comes Will Benson back at the plate. He's hitting the ball well in the spring. This one is ripped off of the right field wall. It will score one, and Benson will get into second base with a double. He's hitting the ball phenomenally here in the spring. Here is one of our shortstop prospects we don't talk too much about, but I really, really like him. He is Ryan Valade, in the mid-70s now in overall, and he flies out to right field. So here is Willingham back at the plate now with runners on first and second, and just another ground out for him. That was maybe a ball out of the zone, but Muhammad Willingham has been struggling so far in the spring. And now that brings up Will Benson here with 2 outs, and he gets enough wood on this one, and it will drop into left field. How about this? Will Benson having himself a spring. I did not expect this at all. I expected Will Benson to possibly struggle. I was prepared to possibly have to sign an outfielder, as that brings up Jorge Polanco, who drives one deep to center field, and this one will stay in the yard, and we end up winning this game 4-3. But Will Benson really has been the surprise of the spring. We win 4-2 actually, because he has been driving the ball very well. 2 for 4 in this game, a double, 2 RBIs. Hito Takahashi had a good game as well, and so did Zach Veen. How about the outfield prospects doing well in this game versus the #1 starter for the White Sox too? And you can just see, I think we're starting to see what our young guys really can show at the MLB level. And that's what I love. I love developing guys. I love seeing these guys that we drafted really now come up and really show us what they can do. So we end up going 12-14 in the spring. I don't mind that though, because that's pretty much saying that, hey, even your backups, who I played most of the time in the spring, they are doing well and still winning games versus, you know, other teams that the CPU does not really sub out their starters, and they're still winning games. Hito Takahashi hit .441 in the spring. He led all hitters. Man, I love that so much, because now he has earned a platoon spot in right field. I love that, and he also will give Garrett Hampson a couple of days off in center as well. Hampson hit .356, leaving right where he left off. But how about Will Benson and Zach Veen? Both hit .341. Will Benson had an OPS of over 1,000, slugged for .610. I mean, the guy absolutely crushed it in the spring, and he has earned that starting job in right field, at least to platoon with Takahashi right now. I'm very glad to see that, because we have a couple of other young guys who have hit very well, including Brennan Rogers, who hit well in spring last year. He continues to hit well this year. CJ Abrams hit .294. If he can hit .294 in the regular season, we're going to be a dangerous team. Roberto Perez hit .276, which I'm actually very happy about, along with Elias Diaz. I mean, that's very good for your catcher spot. A guy that hits .276, and then Elias Diaz, who hits .300. I mean, I'll take that any day of the week. Winker hit the ball well in the spring as well, hit .271. Hira hit .244. Blackman was down to .240 though. And then we started to get into some trouble though. Fuentes hit .227. John Storm hit .200, and the reason why that is significant is because we're really looking for that third base spot to be a platoon spot. Muhammad Willingham hits below .200. I initially thought that I was going to have him at the MLB level. That won't happen with him hitting below .200. But the biggest disappointment maybe in this lineup has been DJ Weatherspoon, a guy that really was supposed to show us what he can do this year, making that year 2 leap after being moved up last year. He's not going to make the MLB roster, I don't think. I think I'm going to get him some at-bats in the minors before moving him up. But then there's Ronald Odor, who continues to struggle with us. Hit below 100. And looking at last year, he hit below 200, probably 210. and I just need to trade him. So that's what I'm going to do. Here we're going to trade for Jarlin Garcia, one of the relief pitchers we wanted in the offseason. He hasn't pitched an inning for the A's yet, so why not? Let's just let Ronald Odor go, and let's just move on with Odor, because that was just a bad signing for us. So we execute that trade in the spring. So now looking at our pitching staff, you know, one thing that I like about our staff is that we have guys that now can start and come out of the bullpen, kind of like Mike Salucci, who's a veteran, not a veteran, but a older prospect who really can come up. He's going to be at AAA this year. He will see time maybe at the MLB level, up and down, who knows. We also have some prospects who can pitch well, like Trez Jenkins, like Noah Sayer. Those guys will come up and down. And then we have, you know, some starters who will come out of the bullpen, like Derek Rodriguez. I don't know what it's going to look like, but right now I think we're in a good spot. Now, the lasting thought here in the spring is that I do want to sign another veteran depth guy, and I don't know who it's going to be, but we have a couple of options. We have Seager, Gregorius. We also have Corey Dickerson, who's a very good hitter. Actually, Dickerson might be the move. I mean, he got on base at a 350 clip last year and the year before that, and hit around 300 last year as well. I don't know why he didn't get signed, but I think that he is probably our top candidate to sign, especially since DJ Weatherspoon struggled like he did. So that's going to do it here in this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the spring. Let me know what you guys think of the young guys, and if, you know, some guys should be left down like Willingham, like Weatherspoon, guys like that, or even Zach Veen. I mean, he hit over 300 once again. Should he be moved up? We'll see. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Next episode will be the season 4 opening day, so stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tinted. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash, and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side. But I'm from the east side, this how we slide. This how we ride, yeah, yeah, this how we ride.